What's up, guys? Today we're playing Epic 7, and today we're on a subscriber account, Snow Me the Way. If you missed the last episode, we stripped down all of our heroes in a purely non-sexual way and then built them back up. We went in and did W13 and A13 as well. Now in this video, we're going to continue that, except now we're going into expeditions. Before we go into expeditions, people often ask me, what do we buy in the Huche shop? And the answer is, well, the answer is nothing. Everything here is super overpriced. Unless you're totally wailing out, there's really no reason to buy any of it. Now, the Huche Lucky Chest actually is pretty good. You can get some good things here, but it's a little bit of a gamble. When we look at the rates, you can get 0.5% Galaxy Bookmark, 5-star Hero Summon, even a Molagora equipment conversion chest is worth it. Well, really everything in here is worth it, but for the most part, you're going to be getting the Leafs, and you're also going to be getting the charms. So as long as you're okay with that, then this one is a good buy. And in fact, I think let's go ahead and we'll just buy it now so I can show you. There are some charms, more charms, powder of knowledge, which is basically garbage, charms, and charms. You know what? Usually I get nothing but leaves. Today, nothing but charms. I guess that's funny. Now, speaking of leaves, we do sometimes see leaves down here. You can get it, but it's like a 5% bonus to energy, so you don't really need it. One thing I will mention as well is when we go into this chest here, you can find some really amazing things and you can look at them before you decide to buy. So if there's something that you really want, something that you really need, if you need that ring to make Arya work, or you really need to have like a torrent set, or you really need to have a pen set, you know, that one thing, come in here and look at this. Maybe it pops up, maybe it doesn't. You can refresh 30 times, and that's it. I think they should keep letting you refresh for gold, but they don't, so just 30 times. Now, what I would do is I wouldn't summon for anything unless it has the right side gear a percent or speed on the boots, and if it has everything that you want. Don't settle. If you see that it has like flat attack, guess what? It's going to roll into flat attack guaranteed. 30 and above is pretty good. You can get up to a 34 fairly easily. Anything below 30, I mean, I wouldn't worry about. When I'm rolling gear, my cutoff is 29. But I mean, this is 1,000 Skystone, so it's better be amazing, right? Better be amazing. Like this, you know, flat attack, you're automatically going to lose 15% using flat attack over a attack percent. But then also, who's using attack percent, right? There's like 5 heroes. So don't waste a bunch of your Sky Stones going for this. But if there is something that you need, something that's going to complete that piece, make sure that you go for it. No shame. Pick up exactly what you need. Here we go into expeditions. Now this is really what we want to do today. We want to look at the expedition teams. I only have access right now to water, to dark, and to fire, so that'll be primarily what we're looking at. Make sure that you're doing expeditions. Click on it, do some damage, then go into the open recruitment. They'll finish it out for you, and you're going to get lots of good rewards. Now, when I click receive all, you can see pretty awesome. I like it. This is how you're going to reforge a lot of your gear. This is how you're going to get a lot of Molagora and other things. So make sure that you're doing this. Now, when it comes to the premium supply pass, right, that's going to give you these columns here. I am not against buying this, especially when you need to reforge materials. But buy it on the month that you really need that mat, right? If you are farming a lot of Wyvern, then buy it on the Wyvern month. If you're farming a lot of Banshee, buy it on the Banshee month. In this case, we have both, so that's kind of awesome. We have Banshee, Wyvern, and then this is the A13 as well. If this is what you need, if this is what's going to take you to the next level, go ahead and do it. If you're under 10k Skystones, I'm going to say don't. Okay, because there might be a hero that comes out that really changes the meta, or there might be a missing piece that you really need. 10k Skystones, you need to save that for refreshing the Gyro shop and make sure that you are always in a position where you can get that new hero that you really need. Today, we're going to be talking about the three teams that we're going to be using. That's going to be the fire, the water, and the dark. Later on, we'll talk about the earth and the light teams if they hit that rotation while I'm playing this account. And first, let's go into Brieg. Now, I'm going to use Brieg for every one of my expeditions except for Earth. He's that amazing, and this is my build I have him on. Now, what we want out of Brieg is some damage. So we want to have like 22, 23k HP. We want to have some bulk, 1200 or more defense. And then we want to bring him in at 185 or less speed. Now, this is important, especially for the Dark Expedition, because if he takes his first turn before the boss does, he's going to use his S2. And we really want him to use that on his turn after the boss so he can remove the debuff. Then we want to have 85% crit chance, and the rest can go into crit damage. We also want to have a maximum 85% effectiveness. Now he gets a bonus of 50 on his S number 3, so you only need 35%. And you only need 15% on crit chance because he gets perception, which gives him 15% there. So this is really good so that you don't have a ton of materials, but if you can build him onto that counter set with those stats, it's going to help out quite a lot. And I forgot, let's go ahead and talk about his artifact. He works on a lot of different artifacts. If you don't have an artifact specifically built for more damage, like Ilinav's artifact or Mort's artifact, then you can use Steadfast Gatekeeper. That's going to help him to survive, especially if he's under 23k HP. Now we'll go to Tamarin. I could do better on this Tamarin, I think. She needs to be a little more bulky, but she's working out for us. We need to have 1200 or more defense. If you have a defense ring, then that would be fine. You can use a health, like you can use a health necklace or a defense necklace, and then a health ring or a defense ring. I like to mix and match them. If you have her on speed set, you can use a health or defense pair of boots. This one is on the free HP set, so we have to use a speed pair of boots here. We want to be at a 180, 190 speed. And then we want to have 85% or more effectiveness. Now, if you can get to 105, that's going to be better because then you can use her into Nightmare Queen and she'll have the maximum chance to hit. Anything less can go into effect resist. I have her onto Wondrous Potion Vial. If you have Rod of Amaryllis spare, then she works better onto that because she'll heal on her transformation and then she'll heal again on her heal turn. So you basically get 2 Rod of Amaryllis procs on your same turn, which is really, really nice. But if you have anything that helps her heal more or cycle faster, then that's going to be good. Next up, let's go into our warriors. Luna, super easy to build. She gets a ton of stats from her passive ability. You can put her onto your free destruction set. You can put her onto the free attack set. I have her onto just spare gear that no one else is using, right? We want to get 3,500 up to 5k attack. Then we want under 185 speed. We want to get at least 85% crit chance because she's going to be elemental advantage, that she'll have that 100% crit. And if you can get her to 300 crit damage, that'll be good. Now, if you want to use her S number 3 for defense break, then you need 85% effectiveness. Otherwise, you don't really have to worry about it. The artifact can be pretty much anything. Don't use Daydream Joker, but anything that gives her more damage will be good on single target attacks. And then we have the number 1 exclusive equipment, which is pretty important. This is going to help you cycle when you're on the fire boss. The other ones don't really help out too much. Really, this is the only one that you're going to run. If you're running her PvP, then you can run one of the other ones. But for this fight, we want to keep her onto the number 1. And then let's go ahead and look at Camilla next. Now, Camilla is a fantastic hero. I use her into C13. I'm going to use her here as well. She provides a defense break and also that dual attack chance. Now, I leveled her up into the A13. That's why she's on this artifact. She works on a ton of artifacts. Anything that'll give her more speed or help her work faster or do more damage will be fine. You can even put her on Warhorn, which will help Luna do more damage, or Commander Lorena if you're using her into C13. I want to speed match her to C13, so I have her at 160. You can run her a little bit faster if you have a little bit faster Sinful Angelica, but keep in mind that you want to match your speed to C13. We want to get up to 100% crit chance. Then we want to go into crit damage and then 85% effectiveness. If you're going to use her into the Abyss, then go for 95. But you can also use Kitty Clarissa for the Abyss. Now, keep in mind that you can run her as fast as you want in the Abyss. I was running her up to like 250 speed just on some speed gear. And if you do that, totally cool, but you want a manual on that first turn so she doesn't waste her buff, and then the boss just takes it off again.
Out of respect, I'll use all my might. There's nothing more absurd than the arrogance of a fool. It's over. Attack.
Don't worry.
With each meaningless outburst, you degrade yourself further.
Burning hatred. A desire for revenge. Go away.
We'll take you down one by one. Your defense is riddled with holes.
Grant me power, Lord Noyas. I have no mercy to spare. For your reckless greed.
I will shatter you.
Yes! An opening!
I'm on my way. Go away. On my honor as a dragon, I will punish you.
There's nothing more absurd than the arrogance of a fool.
Listen to my song. Shine free.
The time has come. I have no mercy to spare. For your reckless greed.
Prepare for the next attack. I'll protect you.
Here.
Don't worry.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's shine.
I'm on my way.
Spear of Ragnar.
Bleed.
Yep.
With each meaningless outburst, you degrade yourself further.
Go away.
Out of respect, I'll use all my might. I have no mercy to spare. For your reckless greed.
Do not fear. To us, nothing is impossible.
Listen to my song. Shine free.
Dragon Twilight.
An opening.
I'm on my way.
Together.
Don't worry. Burning hatred. A desire for revenge.
There's nothing more absurd than the arrogance of a fool.
Drive them out.
I'm on my way.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's shine.
Grant me power, Lord Noyas. With each meaningless outburst, you degrade yourself further.
Prepare for the next attack. I'll protect you. Advance! Now!
Don't worry.
Water Expedition's up next. We already went over Brieg. We already went over the Tamarin. So let's go ahead and look at Loka. Now this one's only level 50, so you can level her up to 60 and she'll do more damage. Again, you can pull her into the B13 and she's going to help you to one-shot that. We want her basically the same as Camilla, right? So we want to get some attack. We want to get about 185 or less speed, so she doesn't use her S2 on the Dark Expedition. And then crit chance, crit damage, and 85% onto your effectiveness. For beat 13, you only need 65%, but 85% works out pretty good, covers all your bases. Super easy to build, and we have her on a Song of Stars for even more damage. I like her a lot. I call her Gangster Ka. Lil Ka sounds like a rapper. She is amazing. She's like a bunny or a fox, or I don't know what she is. Now we come to Landy, and I'm going to show you Sid as well because they both work here. Sid, this is a PvP Sid, but he's going to work. We want him to be 3,000 or more attack, 230 to 40 speed is good, 300% crit damage, and 100% crit chance. If you want to work in some effectiveness, that'll be okay because he has a defense break, but really not necessary. I have him onto the number 3 exclusive equipment. That way he can do his S number 3. You soul burn that S3, now 40k, and you totally murder someone into your PvP arena. If you can go for this build, he's going to work out just fine. Wind Rider does work, but mostly for PvP. It's a little bit 15% bonus there. If you want to run him onto Aaliyah's knife, he'll do okay. If you want to run him onto the Dust Devil, he'll do okay as well. But don't put him onto Daydream Joker because that's not going to help. Now we come to Landy. Now this is a get things done Landy, not a PvP 260 speed trying to boost up your hero's Landy. So we want her to be at 185 or less speed. That way she doesn't take her S3, boost up your Brieg, then he does his S2 and it messes up your rotation. Next thing you know, you're getting murdered into the Dark Expo. So we go close to 4,000 attack, 173 here, 100 crit chance will be best, not necessary, but if you want to do consistent, million plus damage, go for 100 here. And then if you can get to 300 crit chance, that will be pretty good. I have her onto Rosa. This is going to help you with the dual attacks and give you more attack on the dual attack chance. So when you're doing things like Camilla Landy, Tamarin Landy, this works out really well with the dual attacking. You can also put her onto Bloodstone. That's a very good artifact for her. This account doesn't have one, so we're going to run her onto Rosa.
Go away.
Out of respect, I'll use all my might. I have no mercy to spare. For your reckless greed.
I'm not so sure about this, but... For Lady Hate. Yes!
I'll carve you up. Excuse me.
With each moon's outburst, you degrade yourself further.
This is going to hurt.
Go away.
Like the wind.
Please, leave it to me.
Excuse me. Cut and slice.
Yep.
The time has come. There's nothing more absurd than the arrogance of a fool.
While you blink.
I'll focus on one at a time. Listen. To my song. Shine free.
Like the wind.
I have no mercy to spare. For your reckless greed.
I'll carve you up. Excuse me.
Here. I can help. Oh, I look sick, don't I?
Grant me power, Lord Noyas. With each moon's outburst, you degrade yourself further.
Are you scared? Ladies and gentlemen, let's shine!
Advance.
On my way.
This is going to hurt.
Mm,
While you blink.
Leave it to me.
Excuse me. Cut and slice.
Go away.
Like the wind.
For Lady Hate.
This is going to hurt.
Listen. To my song. Shine free.
I'll carve you up. Excuse me.
Together.
Excuse me. While you blink.
I'm not so sure about this, but...
Like the wind.
Next up is the dark team, and yeah, we're going to use the exact same team as water, so that's fantastic because you only have to gear up one team, 2 expeditions, nothing wrong with that. Now you can use Lilka in that top spot. You can also use Camilla if you have something like a Cerise. She will work there as well. Azaria works to a lesser extent. You know, she has the non-skill attack, but she doesn't really increase damage at all. So I would recommend one of those three, and you're going to be just fine in the Dark Expo.
Go away.
The time has come. I have no mercy to spare. For your reckless greed.
Please, leave it to me. Taking point. I'll focus on one at a time. Yep. Quickly now.
With each meaningless outburst, you degrade yourself further.
Go away. Let me show you my secret weapon. Respect the great land. Yes.
Out of respect, I'll use all my might. Advance.
Over.
I have no mercy to spare. For your reckless greed.
Listen. To my song, ladies and gentlemen. Let's
I
shine.
look good, don't I?
Together, unlike fire.
For Lady Hate.
Full frontal assault. That's in order.
There's nothing more absurd than the arrogance of a fool.
Shine free.
I have no mercy to spare. For your reckless greed.
Over here. Requesting backup.
I'm not so sure about this, but...
The time has come.
Go away.
Are you scared?
Look, let me show you my secret weapon. Respect the great land.
With each meaningless outburst, you degrade yourself further.
Listen. To my song, ladies and gentlemen. Let's shine. Here. Over.
I look silly, don't I? On my way.
Shine free. Requesting approval. And granted. Removing restrictions. Charge!
Grant me power, Lord Noyas. I have no mercy to spare. For your reckless greed.
Yep.
I'll focus on one at a time.
Yes.
There's nothing more absurd than the arrogance of a fool.
Sid did a massive amount of damage into that water expedition, and we're also able to do some dagger Sakar. I've gotten a few of these by accident, not really trying, and so that is always welcome. In case you're interested, this is the team I'm running for A13 on Background Battle. I did swap out the Adventure of Ras here for Brieg, just because he needs to have some friendship, and then I'm running Camilla in that back row. They are 19-0 so far, pretty good, and I've already gone through the gear, but this is the team that we featured in our last video if you want to go and check that one out. Now let's go ahead and look at the other teams that we haven't talked about so far. So we've gone into fire, we've gone into water, we've gone into dark. Onto the Earth Expo, this is the basis of the team that you're going to sort of create. Now there are some substitutions that you could make. Cecilia does the best job as the knight into the front row. You can use like Lilius if you want. Adventure Ras works here as well since he's already built. Tenebria is going to be our healer. You can also use Mascot Hazel if you have her built for the Nightmare Secretary Vera. Or you can even use Bomb Model onto Bloodstone. Now this person doesn't have Bloodstone, so we're going to use Tenebria just because she's already built. Then we're going to use the Mercedes. You can also use a Bomb Model here. Mercedes does about 200,000 more on the gear that I typically have, so I like to use her. And then you want someone up here that's going to have a defense break. So you can use something like a Fire Tenebria. You can use something like a Fire Sage Ball, although I don't know why you would because he's super creepy. You can also even use someone who's light and dark with a defense break up here. So you can put something like a Camilla or any heroes you have with defense breaking. I do like Cecilia in the front row because she has a more reliable defense break than Ras, but this team, 1.3, 1.4 million, pretty easy. Then let's go ahead and look at the light. That's our last one. Now, ideally, what we would do is we would have the Brieg in the front row, and then we would put in here the Carmen Rose. If you put her onto the Bloody Rose, then she's going to help your team to survive a lot more by then adding in Vampiric. Then what we want to do is, my best hero for this is Sirmia. You put her onto the #1 exclusive equipment, so she has a chance to double her S1. You probably already have her built for Hall of Trials. She's also useful in 1 or 2 of the Abyss levels. So if you have her built, whether that's for something like a G13, whatever you have built, put her right here in this back row, and she's going to do fantastic. Then up here, the best person to have is going to be a Cerise. Now, Cerise is limited, and you have almost no reason to pull for her now because she's not really used anywhere. If you already have her built, she'll do the best up here. Green Azaria also does well up here. You can try another hero such as something like... You can try Camilla. You can try Lilka here as well. What we want is someone who can do a dual attacking, someone who brings a defense break, someone who has unbuffable. Those are very important. And then we already have heroes here that have the speed down, so that's going to be very good. And the last thing I want to do today is I want to talk about where we're going to go for the future. So we do need to have Terranor Guard. He's going to help us through the Abyss 120, and we have him in Aggressive Growth. There's no reason to spend a bunch of resources on him. If you already have him built and he works pretty well, consider and take him to 60 because that'll help him to survive. And it looks like, yeah, 20-0. So this worked out very well for our A13. So I do like this one. We're going to keep that one going. Let's go back to Terranor Guard now. We want to put him onto a rage set. We want to have attack, crit chance, and then either effectiveness, crit damage, or speed on every one of the pieces. Ideally, what you would do is you would put him onto at least the 85% effectiveness. That way he can land that defense break on his S#1. Now this person did roll some rage gear, but it's not really gear that we can use, so we're going to try and roll some of this gear in the future. When we look at something like this weapon, for this type of hero, we want to have crit chance on every piece. So crit chance is a major stat line that you have to have for rage gear. Then we want to have attack. This has health, so it's not going to work. Now I don't want to throw this piece away because it's already built. You can still use this on something like a shoe, right? Because you're going to pull them into Nightmare Carcass. You can still use it on something like a Mort, someone who does health-based damage who wants to crit, and this is going to be good. For those types of heroes, you want to have health, speed, crit chance on every piece. Then for everything but the weapon, you want to have defense. For the weapon, I think effect resist is okay here. You can even have effectiveness, because Mort, like say, has a debuff. For Shu, you don't really need that, but not a bad weapon. Now for this one, we leveled it up. Ideally, you would want to mod the effect resist into crit chance, but you're not going to get very high. You're only going to get like 5 or 6. So that's going to bring this down into a heroic level. I already have it built, so maybe that's something that I try and do, but don't roll gear like this. Attack, crit damage, effectiveness is good. The effect resist, if it goes into that anywhere before plus 15, you have to abandon it. If it goes into plus 15, then you have to consider that you're going to mod it anyway. Now we have to pair it with crit chance offset that has high crit chance subs because we're missing a crit chance there. This one actually not too bad at all. This one works out very well. You can put this something like a Sermia, right? Even though it's level 80, we have high rolls into crit chance, high rolls into crit damage, and it looks like one roll that rolled really good into attack. No rolls into health, which is what we want. We want a 90 or greater after reforging. So this is basically the same as reforge level 85 gear. Put that onto your Sermia. Looking at the helmet, same thing, right? This is something that's like Mort's going to use. We want an 80 or higher at plus 15. We get a 76, which isn't terrible. Maybe you rolled a bad roll onto your plus 15, so you didn't kind of score as high as you would. Still good. We're not going to throw it away. We're going to use on something like a Mort, maybe something like an Ilanav, someone that wants to do some damage. I'm thinking maybe even like a martial artist Ken. Like, it sounds weird, right? But martial artist Ken, maybe he works on this to do big damage, land those defense breaks. I think, yeah, we're going to see if we can figure that out. Now we have this necklace. This one is another problem. So we rolled a 79. I want a 90. So you get, what, 2 rolls into defense? This is too low to use on anyone. We're not going to end up using it. Not only underpowered, but it has the wrong stat line. We want to have either attack or HP, and then we need to have at least 2 rolls go into the attacking stat. So if you're going to put it onto, a Mort, you want at least 2 rolls to go into a health. If you're going to put it onto a Sermia or a Terranor Guard, at least 2 rolls go into attack. Then we need to have crit chance. If we mod this, it's still not going to be worth it. You're only going to get like a 6 or a 7% crit chance, and it's just not something that we can use. And same thing for this. So we have attack, so we need to see crit chance right here. So we have effectiveness, we have health, we have speed. Those are okay. Now we need to have crit chance. Now ideally you can have crit damage instead of health, but I wouldn't throw it away if it had health. As long as you have 3 stats that go together, that's what's really important. That way you can make pretty good gear. This one, underpowered, we're at 64 at a plus 10, so not something I'm going to continue. This is not something we're going to pull into any hero. Maybe you can do something like effectiveness, crit chance, speed, effect resist, but then all your rolls have gone into something that I don't want for a rage set. If this were something like speed set or hit set, that wouldn't be so bad. I can still use this, but on a rage set, it's not good. And then we have no boots. So as you're rolling that type of gear for these type of heroes, keep this in mind. I think in our next video, we'll start to roll some of this rage gear that we've been farming. Hopefully we get pretty lucky, but right now for Terranor Guard and for Sermia, and potentially like maybe even a Shu until we get some counter gear, that we have some pieces that we can start with, and then we can work from there. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Give me a like so other people just like you can find it as well. Until next time, happy hunting and good luck on your battles.